Hello everybody, hello and welcome into the Purple Penguin Craft Room. I'm Vicky. Today's craft is going to be a paper tree. So we're going to use a paper bag to make a paper tree. And we're going to do this one in kind of fall colors. So I'm going to kind of go over briefly some of the things I'm going to be using, and then we'll get started crafting. So the first thing we're going to be using, paper bags. The good thing or neat thing about this is you can find all different sizes of paper bags. You don't have to use just the small ones. I'm just going to be using the lunch sacks. You can use like the big grocery bags. I mean, there's like bags in between sizes. I mean, they're all different sizes. We're going to just, for this one, for today, we're just going to be using the average, lunch sack ones. All right. I'm going to be using a wood round. This is a 4-inch wood round. I do cut my own wood rounds, but this is the same size you can get at like Michael's or Hobby Lobby, or even the Dollar Tree sometimes has the 4-inch circles. Most of the time it comes with like a beveled edge to it or decorative edge. This one is actually pallet wood. Looks pretty cool. I kind of like the rustic look to it. Obviously you can tell it's freshly cut, but I'm going to be using a 4-inch round. We are going to be using some streamers. We're using streamers, but basically it's crepe paper. It's crepe paper. I'm going to be using red, yellow, and orange because we're going to make our own leaves. So with this tree, like you can get fall leaves. Around fall time, they have all sorts of fall leaves. However, they're not going to be small enough for this size tree. Maybe if you use like a grocery bag tree or whatnot, you might be able to use some of those, the leaves for that. So we're going to make our own leaves for this project. I got these at Walmart, but you can get them at Walmart. You can get them at the Dollar Tree. Has a whole bunch of these. Any kind of party supply store or whatnot would have these. I have found, obviously the Dollar Tree has them, but that's $1.25 now because we all know it raised their price. Walmart has them for like 89 cents or something like that, 87. It's like an off number, but under $1, and you can get them at Walmart. And you can actually get more colors at Walmart than you can at the Dollar Tree. Some Dollar Trees might have a little more variety than others. I've found even at the the party stores, like a Party City or any party favor stores, they even have more selection of colors. So, or you can even get them on Amazon or anywhere online, Google, crepe paper, or you don't have to use crepe paper. You can use like tissue paper. You could use like just regular small flowers, silk flowers or whatnot. It doesn't have to be leaves. It doesn't have to be for fall. This tree could be whatever you want it to be. And it's totally up to you. We're going to be using some craft glue. Definitely get that craft glue in there. And definitely the scissors are a plus too. So I may add some things. I may take some things away. You never know. So let's get started and find out. To get started, we're going to go ahead and use 2 paper bags and some scissors. So, first thing you want to do with your paper bags, you want to open one. I know this gets a little loud. Leave one closed. We're going to stick it in here. Probably leave it so it comes out maybe about 2 inches or so. We're going to fold this back down. So we still have, so we've got a paper bag inside of a paper bag. Right? Now, we're going to turn this way. And we're going to cut down, let's see, you can feel where this, we're going to cut it down to about here. So we can feel, so you have this lip here. Well, you have that on the second bag too. So we want to cut to where that second lip is. Kind of bend it. So right there. That's where we're going to cut down to. Right? And so we're going to go probably about, let's say about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch thick. try and cut all the way through all the bag. Alright, so there's one. And you can actually do different widths if you want to. Totally up to you. So that actually worked out perfect. So I've got 3 on each. So I kind of basically took the middle and did 3 on each side. So I did 6 cuts. See how it's kind of narrow. All right, now we want to kind of open our bag up so it just kind of sits like so a little bit. And now we want to twist, because now we want to crinkle, because we want our tree to have roots, right? We want the roots to come down. So we kind of want to bend it and shape it and squish it and do all the things. We want to make a trunk with some roots. That's the ultimate goal here. So we're kind of trying to twist and shape at the same time. It's not super easy, but you can get it. You can get it. All right, so I'm going to get it to where I have about a fistful. All right. And then kind of flatten it out as you go, right? So now we've got our trunk, right? All right, starting to look pretty good for a tree. Now we need to make our branches, right? So at this point, you want to take just a couple at a time, preferably ones that are like one long one and a short one. And maybe, I mean, you could do 2 to 3 if you want, and you just want to twist them out. All you want to do is keep twisting. Right. Let's do a couple more. That one's kind of together. If you want more and more branches, definitely don't do as many together. Like I'm doing 2 to 3 together. You can just do a 2 if you want to just get away with that. Trying to mix up with like some of the small ones and the bigger ones. Right, and just keep on twisting. All right, we've finally twisted our last one, so now we got this wild and crazy tree. I love how this looks. It looks really cool. Now, if you want your stuff to be a little more stiff and stand up and stuff, you can use wire. I might actually go back and use some wire, but for right now, we're just going to take our glue, tacky glue. You can use Elmer's, you can use whatever kind of glue you want. Not hot glue, not recommended. But basically, we're going to take our glue here, and we're going to get messy with this. We're going to get a little messy. We're going to take our glue and kind of finish helping our branches twist together. So basically, we're going to kind of help stiffen our branches. I just wanted to get them separated first, because otherwise they would all be sticking together if we tried to do this like at the same time as separating them. So, and you just want to just coat them. That's all you're gonna do. Just kind of help coat them. Kind of sorry, there is no really an easy way to be able to do this without getting a little messy, unfortunately. Then you're going to want to let this completely dry, probably like overnight or at least a couple hours, depending on how hot it is. If you're in a really warm area or you're inside a warm house while you're doing this, it might dry a little bit faster than if you're not. Okay, so we've got all of our tips that are all glued and dried, and the only problem is we have a leaner. All right, so at this point, let's go ahead. We're going to bring in our block. I have not sanded this. It is rougher than heck. But that's okay, because I actually think that will help hold my tree on there. However, I think this bottom part is going to be a problem. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to just take off, because if you're going to glue this down to your piece, then it's going to glue this bottom part and not, you know, the rest of it is going to be all wonky. So I'm going to kind of take off this extra layer here. And you know, you don't have to take off this extra layer. If you want to actually just cut it, peel it back, and glue it to itself for extra layer, like you could totally do that too. I just, you know, it's basically, it's two pieces of paper, but they're not connected. And so if that makes sense, they're not going to, so this is all extra. So this part is where the actual tree trunk part is. So that's where I want to actually, that's why I want to cut it. So that that's the part I can glue down, because that's going to make it stable for holding it down. Hope that makes sense to you guys. This is kind of more of a complicated project. So now when I glue it down, it will definitely glue this portion of it for sure. I almost kind of want to stick like a stick or something in it as well, but we're going to attempt it this way first. We can always go back and add something or do something else if we need to. So I'm just going to just cake on this glue here. This is, again, the craft glue is what I'm using. And I think that will be a good enough hold. I really do. However, I need to hold it actually on there. I'm not going to be able to like sit there and hold it while the glue dries. I'm going to bring these clamps in. With these clamps, you can get these at like Walmart or any of the home improvement stores. They're just little baby clamps, but they're, and you just pump them so that they can clamp things down. And this is going to hold my tree here for me. And I think this is actually going to work until the glue dries a little bit better here. There we go. So that's what our tree is going to look like. So that looks actually really good. I like the way that looks. So we're going to hope when it dries, that's the way it's going to look. Like I said, now we need to cross our fingers and let this dry for a couple hours, and we'll come right back. Okay, so now we've got our tree is glued down to our base here. That's not coming up. However, we do have a little bit of overhang. I am going to go ahead and trim that up a little. In fact, sometimes I was kind of thinking about actually just, you might want to just like glue it over the edge too. You could do that too if you wanted to do that. I'm just going to cut mine off. Just going to cut it off instead of having the overhang. But, you know, you can do whatever you want for the look that you want to do with it. All right, we might end up going back and covering that up with some moss or something like that. So it's pretty much all done. These are glued, so they're stiff. However, they kind of don't go, I mean, for a tree, it doesn't all go, I want it to go up a little bit more, right? So I kind of thought about it. I do have this paper wire I got from Hobby Lobby, or I do have floral wire. Which is just really, really thin gauge floral wire. Kind of, because I want to, I think I'm going to paint it. I'm thinking I am going to just stick the paper, or stick the wire in this paper here and kind of wrap it around the base a little bit, and then kind of wrap my tree a little bit so it kind of tightens it up a little bit, gives it more of a twist. At the same time, kind of go around I do like that because that is going to stiffen up my base, my trunk. That's going to stiffen up my trunk a little bit there. And then I am going to paint this, so I'm not super worried about we can, you know, and you can kind of disguise the wire if you want to take more brown paper and just kind of cover it up. I actually don't mind it. Kind of gives the tree some character. So now I think I want to stiffen up some of these. I want them to go up instead of out. So I'm going to kind of wrap the wire around started it down here at the base. And I'm just going to wrap it around the stem here, or the branch, the end of the branch, and kind of just twist it with the paper. This is what I'm thinking I am going to do here. Like I said, this is floral wire, so it is green. However, if you don't like that, you can definitely, this is brown paper wire. You can use that too. So, thinking this is going to look okay. So basically, I'm just going to go ahead and wrap each individual branch so that I can rearrange them how I want with the wire. So, like so. So now I wrapped it all the way up and then back down. So you can see what I wrapped it both directions. And then I started and ended with around the trunk portion of it. So now I can bend this up and out in any way that I want, and it will be okay. All right, so I'm just going to continue to do that with all of them here. And then on this too, you can go as tight as you want or as loose as you want. It's totally up to you. And, you know, in all honesty, I probably could have done this when I was doing, when I was using the glue part of it, and didn't think about it then, but I thought about it now. So this is something, you know, we got to adapt and change and kind of just experiment with things and see what way works best. Okay, so I have wired each individual ones, and you can see all the wire going up all of the tree. So now I want to go ahead, I kind of want to hide the mechanics a little bit on that, and so I'm going to take, since this is a light brown, I'm going to take some dark brown. We're going to do a dark brown color. This is bark brown. Funny enough, it's called bark brown. And I want to do kind of a dry brush on this. Nothing crazy, because I do kind of want some of the light brown to show through some. Actually, wax paper in here. So I want to just kind of pounce it a little bit here. And kind of, I guess, try and make it look a little bit like bark. This is going to make the paper a little wet, so you may want to be careful with putting too much on it, and maybe let it dry a little, maybe do like one side at a time or something. So it's kind of starting to look pretty cool looking. All right, so we're gonna just keep on going with this. See how much I can get away with before it starts getting crazy bent on me. And you do want to attempt to do all these branches too. We are going to put leaves on the branches, so you don't have to go too crazy with it. Just enough to make it darker. There we go, like that. Okay, there are trees all painted with the dark brown, and you can see some of the light brown through it. It looks great. Like I said, this is going to be a fall tree, but definitely would look really good for a Halloween tree or even a winter tree. You could do like snow on it and so forth for winter. That would be really cute too. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our crepe paper. Basically it's streamers. And I've got red, orange, and yellow. And these are from either Walmart or a Dollar Tree. Like I said, I got them cheaper at Walmart. They were like, I think 97 cents or 98 cents or something at Walmart. And at the Dollar Tree, obviously right now they're $1.25. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to cut a little slit because we want to make leaves now. This is the point where now we're decorating our tree. We're making leaves. So it's probably about, I would say, a ½ inch or so strip, and we're just going to twist it in the middle like so. And it doesn't have to be perfect. And then we are going to just glue it in random places on our tree. And we're just gonna, because I want this to be fall, we're going to multicolor all over the place. I do have my hot glue gun. This one is a low temp, so keep that in mind when you're doing this project. And it's also the small one, so it's got a little small tip on it, because you're not going to need a lot of glue. I think I'm going to start with just one color, move it around, and then I'll come back with another color, and we'll just kind of go from there. And they don't have to, like I said, they don't have to be perfect, because we're just going to fill our tree. So if you want to just go ahead and like maybe, and a good rule of thumb, I stick my finger on the edge and then I just cut where my finger is. And that's kind of roughly what you want to do. So that's kind of a good rule of thumb. It's just kind of a finger length of a distance. I mean, they're not going to be all the same, which is okay, because we don't want all of our leaves to be totally the same. Mother Nature is not perfect, and it's not the same. If you don't like the way this looks, with the fact that it might look like the leaves are a little pointy, then go ahead and if you want to take the time, you can cut the tips off so they don't look as square. But I think when I start getting more of them together, I think you might not notice. This is what my plan is for this project. All right. So that's pretty much, I mean, how cool is that? That looks so pretty. And you can keep on going and fill it completely up if you really want to. It's totally up to you what you want to do with it. I want to go ahead and I'm going to add some moss down here at the bottom. I have called reindeer moss. You can get this at Michael's, or even the Dollar Tree has this. But it's it's more of a almost vegetable looking like moss in some sense. So I think I'm going to actually think about putting some on the actual tree itself, because I know my trees that I have in my yard have some moss on them, and it looks really, really cool looking. I'm trying not to keep this project one-sided. To keep turning it and keep turning it, because I'm trying to get evenly all the way around. So there's some of the moss I added to it. I think I want to put some leaves down here at the bottom as well, because we all know in fall you get the leaves fall. They don't stay on the trees, right? They just don't. It just doesn't happen that way. So I'm just going to kind of do a little bit at the bottom. I'm going to kind of bend it and fold it in half so they kind of stick out a little bit. Just so they're not like flat. They don't have to be flat leaves. Sure, I kind of represent all the colors here. some on that side. I'm going to put some on the other side as well. Like I said, I'm trying to make this project so that it's not pretty on just one side. I want it to be pretty on all the sides. It's make a great table centerpiece. I did not use as much yellow as I did the orange and the red, just to keep it a little more orangey and red, just a hint of the yellow. And there we have it. Perfect paper tree. Ready for fall. If you like this project, definitely keep watching. Come back and see some more. Let your friends know where you saw it, and happy crafting.